You know what a net is? Have you ever heard that word in geometry? What's a net in geometry? Do what? No, I just didn't hear you. Just
like a flat type layout, like because if
yeah.
you undo that, it's gonna be a rectangle.
Okay. So we have the circle here, and then we'd have. Let's see, how would we want to? I'm trying to think if I cut it apart and lay it out. Yeah. I don't know where to put my rectangle. Is my problem is. That's not right. But yes, if you take this and cut it, cut the top off and lay it out, the surface is going to be a rectangle. You can imagine that. So it's a rectangle. It looks like this. And when I put this, when I roll this together, so what is this portion of it equivalent to over here? The height. What is this? This is the circumference, so this would be 2 pi r. Okay, and the area of that would be h times 2 pi r. So 2 pi r h. Okay, so let's see. What do we have so far? Did you do all this work for that problem? Good for you. You got an answer already then. Sort of. Good. I like that. Okay, so total area. Who else worked on this problem? No one's going to admit it. Okay, so the total area is going to be 2 bases. So I need to have 2 times pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. I'm still in 2 variables, though. Any way I can get down to 1 variable? Yeah. I can, but I'm still going to have 2 variables. Okay, I need to get it down to 1 variable. What can I do? Because I can't begin to minimize cost until I have, because I can't do anything with, that part of it until I have this. Yeah, Connor? Okay, so if I solve volume, so for h you said? Okay, so that means I would have h equals 16 times about 1.80469 divided by pi r squared. Do you have any value for 16 times 1.80469? Because that's an approximation anyway. How much? 28.88. So 28. You said 88? Divided by pi r squared. And that's going to be in inches. These are in height. Okay. So let's see. Our total area would be 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r times approximately 28.88 divided by pi r squared, right? Now I'm going to take what Aaron said. And first of all, if I have pi r and pi r squared here, let's do this. This would be 2 pi r squared plus 2 times 28.88 divided by r. I'll put it down, then we can go through and do a multiplication in just a minute. Do you agree with that? The pi's are going to cancel. An r factor here subtracted from an r factor down here would leave just r. What is 28 point doubled? 57.76? Check me on that. Am I right? If I double that, 28.88. Okay, so we've got that. Now, the cost let's see what we come up with on cost here. Cost is going to equal, wait a minute though. Can we really, we can't combine these areas, can we? We got to keep them separate in some way, so I don't think I want to factor out anything even if I could. Because why do I want to keep these areas separate? Again? Why? What about cost? One costs twice as much, right? Okay, we established that in the writing and in the problem, and we said the cost is twice as much for the areas as it is for the base. Okay, so down here I'm going to have 2s times 2 pi r squared plus s times 57.76 divided by r. Now what? I'm going to go back. What if I didn't multiply those together? What if I didn't? Then I'd have 2 times 28.88. That'd give me 2s and 2s. I could factor out a 2s. That'd leave me with 2 pi r squared plus my 28.88 divided by r. Now, if I'm going to take the derivative, let's go back to the problem here. Read the last sentence. Find the dimensions? Okay. So when we minimize this cost, we're wanting to find, if we found R, could we find H then? If we found R, could we find H? If you know what R is? I think so, right here. If I know what R is, could I find H? Pi is a value, and if I know what R is, then R squared is a value, and the only thing I would have is the H. So if I know what R is, then I know what H is. I would have found the dimensions of this. The question is, how are you going to treat S? As a variable or as a constant? Because it really, I mean, whatever it costs for the surface area, it's going to be double for the bases, but we're really not trying to minimize that cost per square inch. We want to minimize the cost for the entire project, the entire can. So if we have now this, cost equals, C equals 2 times this. I'm going to make that to the -1. This is the cost with respect to the radius. So I'll make that a little easier to read. This is cost with respect to the radius, and 2